I like to make my pasta, that's true. And I'd really like to make some pasta with you. StatQuest. Hello, I'm Josh Starmer and welcome to StatQuest. Today we're going to talk about handmade pasta, and it's going to be clearly explained. I like to make hard things easy to understand. And lightning makes hard things easy to do, and that's grand. Hello, Normalsaurus. Hello, StatSquatch. Hey, Norm. I thought StatQuest was supposed to be about statistics, data science, and machine learning topics. But I heard that this quest is going to be about making handmade pasta. You heard correctly, Squatch. The first video Josh ever posted was a cooking video. And since today, October 25th, is World Pasta Day, Josh is going to talk about how to make pasta by hand. This is important because most recipes for handmade pasta are terrible. And Josh has been making pasta since he was a kid and has a bunch of good tips to share. Well, okay, as long as this doesn't happen all the time. Don't worry, Squatch. A quest on long, short-term neural networks will be next. Bam! Most recipes for making handmade pasta say you should dump flour directly onto your kitchen counter and mix it with eggs. This is a bad idea because it creates a huge mess. Instead, you should mix the ingredients in a bowl. Here, I have added 10.5 ounces of flour, or 2 cups, to a bowl. And to that, I add 3 eggs. Now, using just the tips of your fingers, combine the eggs with the flour. Notice how the bowl keeps the mess contained and it isn't going all over the place. Once you've incorporated the eggs into the flour, use your whole hand to combine it all into one big ball. Once you've created a big ball of pasta dough, wrap it up in some cling film. Now, put the wrapped up ball of pasta dough into the fridge and let it rest for a few hours. Personally, I like making the dough in the morning and then it's ready to go when I get home from work at night. Anyways, after you've let the dough rest for a few hours, take it out of the fridge and now let's get started making pasta. Now, after unwrapping the dough, cut it up into 7 or 8 equal-sized pieces. Now we need to flatten each piece of dough so that we can make long, thin noodles. Today, I'm going to use the pasta roller attachment for my KitchenAid mixer. However, pretty much all pasta rollers that I've ever seen work on the exact same principle. The first thing you do is set the rollers to their thickest setting, which is usually either 1 or 0 depending on the roller. Now, take one piece of dough, squeeze it flat, and run it through the rollers. Fold it in half and run it again through the rollers. Fold it in half again and run it through the rollers. And put that first flattened piece of dough on a kitchen towel. Now, take the second piece of dough, run it through the rollers, fold it in half, run it through the rollers again, fold it in half again, and run it through the rollers a third time, and then put it on the kitchen towel. And repeat for the remaining pieces of dough. Now set the rollers to the next setting so that the rollers are slightly closer together. Pick up the very first piece of dough that you worked with and run it through the rollers, but this time just do it once. Now put that piece of dough back on the towel and run the second piece of dough through the rollers. Now run the third piece of dough through the rollers, and the fourth piece of dough, and the fifth piece of dough, and the last piece of dough. Now crank the rollers up to the next setting and run each piece of dough through the rollers. And then you repeat that process, cranking up the setting on the rollers and then running each individual piece through the rollers until you've reached the desired thickness for your noodles. For spaghetti noodles, That means going all the way up to the 5th or 6th setting on the rollers. Here's what each piece of dough looks like after going through the rollers at setting 6. Double bam! Now, when you're ready to cook your pasta, bring a large pot of heavily salted water to the boil. And when the large pot of salted water is boiling, we're ready to cut the sheets of pasta dough into noodles. Again, here I'm using the attachment for my KitchenAid mixer, but pretty much every pasta machine I've ever used works on the same principle. You simply take a sheet of pasta and run it through the cutters. And once you've cut all the sheets of pasta into noodles, put the noodles in the boiling salted water and cook for 1 to 2 minutes. Lastly, drain the pasta and serve with your favorite sauce. Here, I've got some homemade Skyline chili. Triple yum! Now it's time for some shameless self-promotion. If you want to review statistics and machine learning offline, check out the StatQuest PDF study guides and my book, The StatQuest Illustrated Guide to Machine Learning, at statquest.org. There's something for everyone. Hooray! We've made it to the end of another exciting StatQuest. If you like this StatQuest and want to see more, please subscribe. And if you want to support StatQuest, consider contributing to my Patreon campaign, becoming a channel member, buying 1 or 2 of my original songs or a t-shirt or a hoodie, or just donate. The links are in the description below. All right, until next time, Quest on!